All right, guys. Side control, we work really hard to get past guard, so let's not give it up. Okay, not going back is the goal here. I'm constantly watching this frame, so I don't want the knee to get to the elbow. I can't have this connection. Okay, so I'm just always monitoring that. All right, a traditional frame here is going to be over my shoulder, underneath my chin. Well, you can just lift his elbow up my chin, and that alleviates the pressure on his face. Okay, I'm going to allow it to happen, start lifting up, which makes it easier to pop his arm off and secure it with my head. Okay, we have to have a strong grip with our neck and our ear here, and I'm going to take my time and really get my arm through deep. So I want to take up all the space between my elbow and his neck. Make the finish of the choke easier. Okay, so we could just sit here, adjust, get nice and tight. All right, now I like to try to keep his arm up with my knee, and we're going to start going up to mount carefully, not going to guard. Okay, so as I bring my knee up, I'm bringing my knee to his armpit. My right leg is going up high over the legs and down. Okay, nice and low. Gable grip my hands, and I'm leaning down low, adjusting, squeezing for the finish. Okay, same thing. He's gonna start popping off. Awesome. You could force it as well. So third down, I can start working my head down and coming on top. Okay, I really like the pose here on the hip. It really keeps him in place. Okay, the more I can control his hip and his head, just the easier the dance is going to be for me. Right, now we're going to start working up to mount, carefully going high. Really take your time to adjust. I'm always adjusting, keeping this tight. Okay, up over the legs, down, swelling out. Okay, now for the finish, I'm squeezing, I'm pressing into his arm, and I'm bringing my elbow up towards his chest for the finish. Okay, any questions? Yes, sir.
When we're in that final position, I feel like I still can't get into the range. Would you suggest sprawling out and kind of clocking over it? Or do you
By clocking over, what you do is you're taking away the space here in the elbow. So try pulling up on the arm as you're going over. You could also, as we're here, you can put your chin into his tricep too. That might help. But cook it for 10 seconds. See if that works. You'll notice with somebody with real small shoulders, this choke's going to be hard because I kind of need some meat to help with that. But a real skinny neck, skinny shoulders is going to be a little difficult to achieve it. And then at that point, you shoulder lock them. Okay. So if they're not here or if they're answering the phone, I'm grabbing his wrist and I'm pulling his shoulder this way. Just shoulder lock them. Okay. If not this, then that. That's the goal. All right, guys. Hands on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. When we have a frame here, there's lots of ways of dealing with it. Driving up. Okay. Alternatively, I could use a knee on belly type of defensiveness. Okay. So with gi, grabbing material if I can. No gi, I'm just punching the mat. But as I punch the mat, what I'm trying to do is keep my hand, like my fist, underneath his head, so I kind of give him a little bit of pressure into his neck. Okay, I'm not trying to do like a neck crank, but I am trying to just stay on top. Okay, arms are going to start moving. All right, I'm going to use my left leg to staple his right arm down as I'm scooping his arm, grabbing around his tricep to pull him to his side. Okay, the whole time I'm framing, taking away space with my hand as well. Okay, So as we're coming up, my left hand's going over his head, down to the mat. I'm pulling his arm into me as I'm keeping my shin very tight into his ribs. Okay? My right foot is going to replace my left foot. I'm going to post up on my foot, putting my knee into his back. Turn. Turn, Matthew. Thank you, sir. Okay. Left knee into the back. It's like some teach it this way, like pinning the head down. I'm not a fan. I find this to be much better. It's much tighter. I have more control. Okay. I'm replacing pressure and control with pressure and control. Left hand over, grabbing the wrist, thumbless grips, arm down and around. Okay. The real flexible people, we're going to have to go far. For the older crew here, it's just going to be a little bit of space. Okay. So again, I don't want this to happen. Passing guard is a lot of effort. I don't want to go back. So this is not okay for me. All right. So if he has a frame in here, that's saying to me, hey, that could happen. That's a reality here. Okay. Let's avoid it. Punching up to knee on belly. And I'm punching the mat. My right foot is onto his hip. And I'm just attached to him on his shoulder. Okay. Scooping his arm, stapling it down as I stay low, grabbing his arm and pulling him towards me. Okay. I'm windshield wipering my feet to keep that right arm stapled down as I continue to pull him up. The whole time of pressure, keeping his elbow into my chest. Switching arms, moving to his wrist, to my wrist with thumbless grips, bending his arm down. I'm trying to scratch the back of his head with his hand. All right. Questions, or do we want to see that one more time? Nope. Cool. Give it a try. Hands on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. So controlling his arm. Okay. Getting in tight. I'm driving my arm in deep, and I'm punching the mat to the armpit. Okay. If they're tremendously strong, you can reinforce with them. Okay. Well, I'm not trying to like do a neck crank, like I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to find that point of like, oh, he's no longer fighting. Don't go past that point. Okay. There's no need for it. You can hurt your training partner. So I don't want to see that here. We're not going to just crank this for a submission. Can you? Yes, but I don't like it. So I don't want to see it here. We're just going here. We're just going to keep it tight. Find that point where they start to turn and it stays. And that's fine. That's good enough. I'm following him up with my leg, staying close to his spine. Keeping low, stepping over, catching my shin. I'm letting go of the punch, catching my shin. As I switch my hips, bringing my knee to the mat, whole time adjusting, locking up the figure 4. Okay, I'm going to give him some space so he can survive and breathe. I'm bringing his arm up over my waist and around. Okay, I'm sitting back and I'm turning towards his body for the finish. Okay, if they're still not tapping, I'm going to roll away from my feet, not over my feet. Grab, we're going to just do a traditional triangle here for the finish. Okay? Drop it.
Can you go one more time just to set up?
Yes, sir.
Set up.
So we're having a hard time getting this. Either any number of those options is okay. So when we're here, I just need to find a way, which is usually there, to go across and punch the mat. I'm driving it to his side, left leg up. Feeling a set because they'll be having their knees high. Feeling the hip. Let me around. His hand, as it while it might seem like he's going to be able to reach me, there's very little power there. Okay, thread the foot through, grab the shin. I'm allowing him to go back to his back as I bring my knee to the mat. Locking up the figure 4. Over my waist. We're just going to start turning towards him for the finish. Okay. Alternatively, before I roll, I'm going to grab my shin. Down. Okay. Like our traditional triangle. We can armbar here. We can armbar here. Your wrist lock them. It's a serious problem for the person on bottom. Okay. Once you get that triangle locked, and that's why I like locking into triangle, because a big person could throw you off. With it locked up, you have VCD plans to do. Granted, you're on bottom, you're still in guard, everything's fine. But that's why I lock up rather than not lock up for the finish on top, is for that purpose. If they roll, dude, that's my fire extinguisher. I'm ready to go for the next one. Okay, all right, hands on 3, 1, 2, 3.